Hi, friends. Thanks for joining us. Do us a huge favor. Smash that subscribe button. It helps the channel grow. Benny, where can they find us on social media?
Yeah, you can find us at Ray Benny Sports. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Check us out also on Reddit and Discord. And don't forget, leave us a rating on your favorite podcast provider.
And special shout out to our show sponsor, Fahrenheit Airbrushing. Stand out in the ice pavement, field, or in the stands with a custom airbrush helmet, goalie mask, or any type of project. A local Manitoba business with affordable solutions. Check out Fahrenheit Airbrushing on Facebook or call them at 204-891-7431.
And of course, don't forget to tell them that Ray and Benny sent you.
My mouth is dry. Let's get right into it with the Bomber Blueprint. Bombers play the Ottawa Redblacks on the traditional Sunday night football for the CFL. Not a huge fan, but I guess get them in while you can. Let's start off with the offense. What do the Bombers have to do on offense to win the game? You go first.
Well, we saw last game. They moved the ball pretty well against the Argos. And again, the Argos D is not the greatest either. And Ottawa is kind of in that same boat.
Yes.
Bit of a struggle so far this year. But finish those drives. We need TDs instead of field goals. I know Sergio hit some long field goals last game. So, hey, fantastic on those. There's at least one over 50. Was there two? I can't remember now.
Early.
Yeah. So, but now let's get that ball in the end zone. Limit mistakes. If it's Drew Brown starting, Zach Collaros, just limit those mistakes in the red zone because the Bombers did have a drive there that ended up being picked off that could have put that game kind of away. And they kept the Argos in this game by only settling for field goals. And then, of course, the fantastic return by Trey Vabel to kind of put that game away a little bit. So Ottawa's D has given up at least a 100-yard receiver in pretty much every game or a 100-yard running back getting over 100 yards. Holy marbles in the mouth there. So the Bomber offense should be able to feast a little bit here, either through the air or on the ground, and pick their poison. And of course, get Brady going. We haven't seen him have a dominant game yet this year, so hopefully he can do that this weekend.
Yeah, like you said with turnovers, like even turnover, you got to protect the ball because that's how you keep teams like Ottawa in the game. They can't be getting the ball. Was it Tim White on like 3 and then he got stripped trying to fight for a touchdown? Was that Tim White? Who was that again?
No, that was Brady again, wasn't it? Against the Elks you're talking about?
No.
Against the Argos?
That wasn't Brady. It was the Argos. Shoot. I can't remember. And then you had Vabel, who did redeem himself from the punt going, but you can't be having turnovers like that. That's another turnover that happened within the Bombers side of the field. So they just really got to hold on to the ball, no matter how good Ottawa is, because I will never be able to get over the crumback. No matter how many years in the future have gone by, that will always haunt me in my head as something that happened at Lansdowne that I could never get over. So please just don't turn the ball over.
Yeah.
And Ottawa gives up the most big plays in a game. You know, like, yes, establish Brady. Yes, get that passing game going. But yes, also launch that thing. Also get some good blocking, get some 20-yard runs because they're going to give up some chunk plays. That's almost a guarantee on Ottawa. They're not very good. They're not very good. There was like a stat or something that listed all the quarterbacks that Ottawa has had since Trevor Harris. And they let Trevor Harris go for $5,000. Over $5,000 they get let that man walk. Any which way, Ottawa. Just what the Bombers have to do on defense. Jake Myers starting again. They gotta just get in that guy's face. They can't run the ball effectively and they can't pass block effectively. So you get in Mayer's face, it's not looking good for Ottawa.
Yeah, for the most part, Ottawa games besides the last one against the Elks there have been fairly close games. Like they've been in them and had chances to win, and that's kind of them trying to come back late in games for the most part. So yeah, get at Jake Mayer. The guy's got 7 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. The opportunities are going to be there for this defense to get some sacks. Yes. And finally get maybe more turnovers. I was looking through and I didn't realize they only had the 1 interception so far this year.
Yeah.
So those DBs got to get something there. So they got to take advantage of that. Like you said, there's no run game right now in Ottawa. So they're pretty one-dimensional, but they have some very good receivers, and I feel like MBT is going to come into this game at some point. He came into the last game for Ottawa, so I feel like Jake Maier is probably getting a half here. And if he can't get this offense going, I feel like MBT is going to be back in there. So, and we know he can chuck the ball. He'll make mistakes, but he can chuck the ball. And you got Justin Hardy, you got Geno Lewis, you got some good receivers back there. So Bomber defense does have to be aware, but got to get after that quarterback. And yeah, like you say, the old line for Ottawa is still a work in progress. So you can get at them a little bit.
Bombers have had 5 sacks in the past 2 games after getting blanked against Edmonton.
Yeah, which is really good. 4 sacks for Srezan now. Well, I guess he had 3 in one game, but
What do they got to do in special teams?
man, it's another nice matchup between returners here with Vavel and Pimpleton. But like you say, Sergio was on the ball last week. Besides the last field goal attempt, that's always good to see because if they do get stuck, he's there to back them up. I hope we don't see too much of him this week. Punters are pretty even. Brent Lawler is having a bounce back season.
Yeah.
In Ottawa right now. But yeah, I think just win that field position, and it'll be interesting to see with Vavel and Pimpleton going at it.
Oh, they got to bottle up Pimpleton. They have
Yes.
to bottle that guy up because the Bombers are probably going to store into Ottawa, and Ottawa is going to be receiving some kicks. So they can flip a field very easily, if not take it all the way.
Yeah. And Pimpleton's, I feel like he's returned a couple against the Bombers.
I wouldn't be surprised.
At least in this field goal, I feel like for sure.
The Bombers have been pretty. Yes, that one was crazy in Winnipeg.
Yeah. But that was a partial, almost comeback. Isn't that where Drew Brown ended up getting hurt at some point in that game? And I think the Bombers actually hung on, but
They did hang on.
yeah. Because then Crum came in, your buddy came in.
See? Don't. He's not even there, and I'm like, what? So, kind of a quarterback controversy in Winnipeg. It looks like Drew Brown will be starting on Sunday, which I love. Get into the details of that. But if both are healthy at this point in the season, obviously you consider that as well. Who would you choose to play against Ottawa, Collaros, or Brown? I'm going to go with Brown. Yes, of course, just to make sure the neck and the head are good, because that's Zach Collaros. We know there have been previous issues. He's been good for the past few seasons, knock on wood, in regards to those kinds of injuries. But I don't see the harm, especially this early in the season, especially after Drew Brown's performance, to not let him play. And of course, there's also the storyline of it. And I know Mike O'Shea does not like to buy into the sentimentality or emotion of the moment, but I think this is just too big to ignore and too hot on the fires of, or in the heels of what happened with him asking for his release, the Bombers trading for him, his arm strength being questioned in Ottawa. There's just too much of a this is ratings, which there won't be ratings, but this is like ratings storyline where you have this guy coming back into the city that he asked his release for to play. So I think it just has to happen. I definitely choose Brown in Ottawa.
Yeah, I'm going with Drew Brown as well. It'll be interesting. I know the Bombers, if Zach is healthy, would be the guy. They're starting him for sure. But like you say, the fact is in this game, it's the revenge factor. Drew Brown played well last week, right? And I wouldn't necessarily it's Drew Brown's arm that has issues. Sometimes it's decision making that's still trying to figure that out, especially on the interception in the end zone there. It's like, dude, sometimes you just gotta learn when the play is not a good one, and then let it die, and instead of trying to force something in there. But yeah, Drew Brown, he moved the offense really well. You know, besides settling for field goals for the most part, the offense was getting in that Argo zone all the time. So I'd like to see Drew Brown start, and it probably is starting. But it'll be interesting to see what they do in weeks after that. Especially if Drew Brown plays really well this week and puts up a lot of points. I feel like you say O'Shea is probably going right back to Zach Collaros no matter what Drew Brown does this week. But you know, and the fact that does Dinwiddie actually know Drew Brown's weaknesses? I mean, he only had him for a little bit. He did play against him for the last couple of years, couple games when Drew Brown wasn't hurt. So maybe he knows something that we don't. So we'll see.
Personally, especially after watching the Tom Brady thing go down, I am not a huge believer in the starter gets their job back no matter what. I think there are situations where if the team especially rallies around this player and they're playing better, you just play the hot hand. You can't risk losing that momentum. I don't think you should.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, but the situation with this is, Zach Collaros, what has he been here now? 6 years, two Grey Cups, wins, five Grey Cup finals, all that kind of stuff is also a factor behind it. And the Bombers haven't done well moving off the veterans very easily, right? So I feel like that'll still be a factor and the loyalty for O'Shea.
Yeah,
Would
that's
he
what I'm saying.
stick?
I do not believe in that.
No, but that's where the Bombers kind of go from. The big question is if Zach does get that starting job back and does not play well, would they move on to Drew Brown and let Drew Brown take over the reins at that point?
Pardon me?
I said if Zach, they're giving the job back to Zach, no matter what. If he was healthy this week, he's playing. If he comes back and is a starter and struggles, will they move off of Zach and go to Drew Brown at some point this season? That would be an interesting question for me to see what happens later on in the season.
I think the hook would be shorter.
I think so, and that's got to be one of the reasons why you traded for Drew Brown as well, right? Zach kind of struggled last year at times, and now you got a veteran guy back there that you can kind of trust and throw in there in these situations if Zach is struggling.
Yeah, I wonder how much that was part of the decision. I don't know. Are the Bombers getting enough production from their receiving core, or does someone need to emerge as a true number one target?
No, I think they're getting enough production at it. I mean, you got three guys or two guys that are over 300 yards, another guy that's close. They're all on pace to get over 1,000 yards. And I feel like it's not, hey, Tim White's the guy and he's going to be the guy every game. You can either have Tim White one game, next Nick Dembski the next game, Ontario Wilson, or all guys going at it, And then you got Tommy Neal kind of in the background there too, who made a huge catch last week against Toronto to keep that late last drive kind of going. So I kind of like the way things are going. And they're spreading the ball around, and a defense can't just focus on one guy and be that main guy. So I hope they keep going with this, and each guy steps up different games.
Yeah. I kind of liked how the offense looked with Ontario Wilson as the number one, to be honest with you. And I like the chemistry that him and Drew Brown look to have. And not that Drew Brown and Tim White can't connect, because they can connect too. But I do like having that number one where it draws the safety away from everyone else, especially in a big CFL field. Like, I don't know. That's just my preference. When you have a number one like in BC, you did have multiple receivers still getting big numbers because you're drawing so much attention with that guy. And for some reason, Hatcher or whatever, whoever it's going to be, if BC does get their shit together, I think it's a benefit to have a number one. I don't think it's they have to, but did they have a number one when they won the Grey Cup?
Bombers?
Kenny Lawler?
Yeah, Lawler, right? So,
But they also had Mistigo.
Yeah, and yeah,
No, not to Mistigo. I'm just saying.
Yeah. But also with Lawler, I mean, they had Dalton Schoen too, which was a good number two, right? Not in the first Grey Cup, but the second one.
Not shown. No,
Was he not in the second one?
no. They had Rashid Bailey as
right.
I think he's kind of the number
My
two.
memory's
And
terrible.
Dembski.
Yeah, so you had some good number twos there, right? But Lawler was your main guy, and Dembski was, he was getting better and better every year from there, right? So
Yeah.
I feel like any one of these guys, and we'll see. Yeah, if maybe it is Drew Brown and Ontario Wilson. Maybe they have that chemistry. We'll see in this game if they do the same thing.
It doesn't look like last year Zach Collaros did kind of spread the ball around. Really didn't have a number one. And at the same time, the Bombers weren't a big threat with the deep ball either last season, if I can remember correctly.
The one game, I think, against the Elks, they tried it a lot. Didn't work.
Oh,
I remember. So.
Still love you, though. Still love you.
Hey, so just going back, now that you said that about the long balls, what's the percentage or odds that Bombers are going deep on their first play if Drew Brown is a starter?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
They got to, right? They almost got to just to shove it in Dinwiddie's face. I mean, it could backfire too, but
Maybe, maybe. Wouldn't mind seeing a good 25-yard run out of the shotgun.
yeah, yeah, they can really trick him on that first play of the game there.
We'll see. Who has been Winnipeg's MOP through 6 weeks? I'm going to go, this was kind of tough. I'm going to go with Jake Seresna. When he is on, that defense is different. It's almost next level. He causes so much chaos on the line of scrimmage, even against a running game, and it really picks up all like Willie Jefferson's having a pretty strong year too on the line. Like those two together are really starting to get going. So I'm gonna go Jake Seresna for most outstanding player in the Bombers right now.
Yeah, it's funny, like you say, it is kind of hard because there's no one that's really jumped out, especially usually this is an offensive player, right? You got Zach Hurt, Drew Brown in there. None of the wide receivers have separated from each other. Brady just hasn't been his normal self up there. Like he's still having a good season,
Yeah.
but not enough there. So I'm going to go with the other guy on the other side. I'm going to go with, well, I guess not totally on the other side, but I'm going to go with Willie Jefferson. He is at 3 sacks. I can't remember how many knockdowns he's at this point now because they don't keep the stats on the CFL site. But yeah, he's having a very good season so far and has been very disruptive. And those two guys, when they're going, wow, it's fun to watch.
Check the defensive stats. They might actually have it for individual players. For
On the
Willie.
PDF one,
No, no, no,
I looked
no.
at the like their actual filter kind of thing with defense, and it did not have knockdowns on there.
Stats are forever a thing with this league. Use one word to describe the Bombers' defense since we picked two guys from the defense. Use one word to describe the Bombers' defense.
I'm going to go with resilient, and I know you used this word before for a Bombers win, I think, but it was a tough start for this Bomber D in the first couple of games. We were all over them, wondering what the heck happened, all over Jordan Younger, and they've kind of turned it around. And they had a very good game against that Toronto Argo D or offense
Yeah.
that was playing very well. And I think the only thing that's missing from this D, as we talked about, is the turnovers. One interception, he has a few fumbles,
Yeah.
but they need to start producing more that way. But I think they're starting to fight back. They've given up the second least points in the league. So they're definitely fighting back and turning into the D that they kind of were last year.
I'm going to say evolving. They are
Good
definitely
one.
a different defense than they were, was it 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, when Hamilton lit them up for 37.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get too excited yet. I like how this defense is trending. I really love the aggressive play of Major Williams. It's not a bandwagon jump. Like this guy has been playing that aggressive early on in the season. And I think he's the most targeted DB. He hasn't given up a TD and he hasn't missed a tackle. I read somewhere. I wish I can give props to the person who had that stat, but I can't remember. They've been looking really good the past couple of games. Like I said earlier in the podcast, 5 sacks in the last 3 games since the Elks blanked them there. Points, like you mentioned, 23 against Edmonton, 13 against Hamilton, 21 against Toronto. So yeah, and that's the main thing. If they're keeping the points down and allowing the offense a chance to win the game, then that's all that matters to me. They can give up 400 yards passing every game if they're only letting the team score 23, 24 points. I'm cool with
Yeah.
that.
At the end of the day, who cares about the stats? It's
Yeah,
the score is the only thing that matters at the end of it. So
exactly. Scoreboard, don't lie. My camera's getting low. Hey, it fixed itself. Let's look at the CFL MOP rankings so far this season. Let's start off with number 4. Who you got at 4?
I flipping back and forth. I'm just trying to. I'm going to go with Tyson Philpott at number 4. Having a very good start to the season in receiving. He's already at 700, over 700 yards, which is crazy in 5 games.
It's insane.
Yeah. Now that I said it out loud, I was like, holy shit.
I got Tyson Philpott at number 3. Like the next closest guy is like 230 yards away. Second in receiving touchdowns, leads the league in receptions. His catch conversion rate is 80%. The next guy is like around 73. It's crazy. At number 4, I have Josh Woods. I'm like, I have to pick someone on defense. He has a nose for the ball. He has 29 sacks. He gets behind the line of scrimmage, doesn't have any sacks yet, has a couple tackles for losses, picks the ball off. I think he took one to the house earlier this season as well. So I'm going to say Josh Woods, linebacker for the Rough Riders.
I've stuck completely offense on mine, and you know what, I just flipped Tyson Philpott to number 4 and put Vernon Adams at number 3. Who, you know, it impressed me last week. I thought he would definitely struggle, and I know kind of got a few late touchdowns, kind of make that score a little bit closer. But when you're at 14 touchdowns right now and no interceptions, and protecting that ball and playing well, I got to give him some props.
Vernon Adams, I did not include him. He didn't belong on my list. I got Davis Alexander at number 2, the elite quarterback this year. He's only going to get sharper. He's only going to get better. Only going to sling the ball more and get more confident. That one loss or whatever, no loss, regular season, that garbage is out of the way. Now he can roll. I think Montreal is crazy good. I think he is crazy good. I think he is the quarterback in the CFL right now. So Davis Alexander at number 2 for me.
Yeah, I agree with you. I got him at number. You said number 2, right?
Yes.
Okay, I thought I heard 3. Yeah, I agree with you. I got him at number 2 as well. You know, best young quarterback in the league right now. He's definitely overtaken Nathan Rourke in that title.
Oh, I wonder who's number 1.
Do we even have to talk about it? I mean, there's no question. It's Justin Rankin, right?
I have no explanation needed. That's my explanation.
Yeah, he's just been lights out, and he gets a rematch with the one team that's kind of shut him down this year so far in the Elks or the Lions. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a rematch. That's the Lions' last game.
Yeah,
right, because they had a bye.
Great schedule. They got the Owls against the Stamps again 2 weeks in a row.
Let's do it. Let's go to some stardom situm CFL fantasy football. Must start. Who do you got?
You know, I talked about him earlier not having a breakout game yet, or a very big game where he's the guy. I'm going with Brady Oliveira for the Bombers. I feel like he's going to put some rushing yards on these Redblacks this weekend.
I'm going to take a Bomber as well, but I'm going to, what?
And TDs, sorry.
I'm going to go with Drew Brown. It's the story of the CFL, we said earlier. It's not set in stone, but it's really trending that way. So if you don't have Drew Brown on your roster, pick up Drew Brown and start him, because he's going to go on a revenge tour in Ottawa, and it's going to be fun to watch, I think, as Bomber fans. As a must-sit, I'm going to have Nathan Rourke. He's playing a team that wants to beat them. It's hard to beat a team twice in a row. Nathan Rourke's not having a great year. Edmonton is really good at taking the ball away. So I'm going to say sit Nathan Rourke. As weird as that is to say.
All right. I probably went an easy route here. And probably, yeah, I'm going Kenny Lawler. Just because I don't trust that Hamilton offense, and who's at quarterback this week? Jake Dogala, Trey Ford. Who knows? They've signed 2 other guys, Jared Doge and someone else.
Yeah.
So I don't know who's going to start at quarterback. So unfortunately for me, Lawler's not looking good in that fantasy lineup.
They are in trouble.
Yeah, you went from basically one of the favorites to be in the Grey Cup to being one of the favorites to finish possibly second last, because Ottawa's finishing last probably. Which sucks for Hamilton and their fans. So
Kenny Lawler did have 9 targets last game, but he only hauled in 5.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I guess if you're one of those guys, just chuck it up to Lawler and hope for the best, right?
Well, that's a good game plan when you're
exactly. So
CFL fans, who do you got in your stardom, situm, CFL fantasy football? Don't forget to smash that subscribe button. Let's go to some CFL predictions. BC and Edmonton, who do you got?
I'm going to go with the Lions. I know you just said it's tough to beat a team 2 times in a row, but I think the Lions are a bit turning it around. They shut down Rankin last game. I know this game's in Edmonton this time, and hopefully they can sell out that stadium, because this is a huge game. Maybe not sell it out because it's huge, but fill it up, because this is a big game for the Elks right here. You can really put the Lions down to 1-4 at this point and improve to 5-1 on the season. So yeah, it should be a good, entertaining game as well.
If the Elks can get 35,000, that would be a win. Because they're not going to get 60,000 in that. Or no more.
I mean, even 25 at this point, right? Because they're always under 20, right? So
I'm going to go with Edmonton. They are at home. They want revenge. And it's hard to beat the same team twice, even though, it's not really a true back to back. Montreal, Calgary. I'm going to go Montreal on the road. I like the way they play. I don't think VA can go play for play with Alexander when it comes down to it. So I'm going to go Montreal in Calgary.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Like I said, I think Calgary came back with some late touchdowns in that fourth quarter to kind of make it a little bit closer. VA's 14 touchdowns, though, no interceptions. He's 3 away from tying Doug Flutie, who went, 17 touchdowns in a row without an interception. So see if you can do that.
Toronto Hamilton, who you got?
I got to go with the Argos. We just talked about how bad Ticats QB situation is. So
Yeah.
their D is still playing well enough, but the Argos will take this one.
They need to find a quarterback somewhere. I don't know what they're so screwed. They're so screwed. They should offer up the world for Zach Collaros, and the Bombers would still say no. Winnipeg at Hamilton.
Wouldn't that be something?
Desperate times. Winnipeg at Hamilton. Ottawa. I got the Bombers. Ottawa is no good.
Yeah, I agree. Bombers over Ottawa. Even though it's in Ottawa, I still feel the Bombers should win this one. No problem.
CFL fans, who do you got in your predictions? And do us a favor, smash that subscribe button. Winnipeg Jets fans, smash that subscribe button. Word on the street, Cole Perfetti signs a 5-year, $6 million deal, AAV. What does that mean again?
Annual something.
AVV, annual value, annual average value. What is one word you'd use to describe the Cole Perfetti signing?
I'm going to go with just good. Good deal for Perfetti. Good deal for the Jets. It gets him under contract now for 5 years. A little bit of a step back last season after looking like he was coming out of his shell with his 50 points, but the injuries kind of got him at the beginning of last season, and he wasn't as, didn't seem like himself really. And then the center situation at the time did not help him either. So hopefully with him and Vigo Bjork, because I'm assuming he's going to get a shot at that 2C center spot at the start of the season. So hopefully they can find some chemistry quick.
The word I chose is necessary. Chevy the Jets' whole MO forever has been keeping their young talent, trying to get them on term before they really have to bargain with them as UFAs or anything like that. So personally, he hasn't reached his prime. There's no way. He's 24-ish. I think there are still better days ahead. Dude has already proven he can put up 50. So I don't think it's out of the realm to him for maybe to put up 65, 70 on a yearly basis. And if he does that, then I think you got him for the value that you're paying him. If he does more than that, 75, 80 points a year, then you're getting a great deal. And if he has less than that, then so what? It won't be that much of a handicap on the salary cap at $6 million, especially if the cap does continue to go up or does go up. Stop. So yeah, I think it was a necessary signing for them, especially And well, then, in your opinion, are his days at center over, and should his days at center be over? I don't think they're over, and I don't think they should be over because there's no way the Jets have a surplus of centers that they're confident in right now. I think they have to come in open-minded with Perfetti being an option at center, and if he doesn't pan out, he doesn't pan out. You play him at wing. But I think he should be an option going into camp and throughout the season too. If things aren't working in the mix, maybe throw him in at center mid-game or for the next game or whatever, but give the guy a bit of an opportunity now that you've invested 5-6 in him. So 5 years, $6 million in him.
Yeah, I feel like they are over. I wish he would have got a longer opportunity to play center, but I mean, what was that first full season already now? 3 years ago, 4 years ago.
Yeah.
That he had the opportunity. He's never really played center again, even when there's injuries and all that, and all the stuff from last year where you didn't have a good option. But I guess he didn't have good wingers, to fill in for Perfetti. If he moved him to center either. So
yeah,
I think that ship has kind of sailed on him being a center in this league, and I don't think the Jets will give him another opportunity there.
So
unless they're
if
absolutely
the rookie
desperate.
fails at being center, Then what? You got Nemesnikov. You're back to Nemesnikov and Lowry to play 2C.
Lowry, and then you got Morgan Barron at 4, right?
I don't think you have to be open minded and give him an opportunity.
But yeah, they were desperate last year at that position.
Especially if Bjork doesn't work out at the beginning of the year. You're not going to burn games on this guy in the NHL. You're probably going to send him down, no?
Well, probably, but while Yager's got a chance, Lambert plays a little bit of center. So Brendan Yager too, right? So
and those guys are in better position to play center than Cole Perfetti.
I just think that
that's like ridiculous.
Like I said, I would rather have seen or like to have seen Perfetti get a better opportunity than he did, but I still feel like, hey, it's going to be someone else and not Perfetti.
I think that would be absolutely nonsensical for them to call up one of those guys from the A and slot them in at center before giving Perfetti an opportunity at center. I think that if that happened, I think that would be ridiculous.
At that point, too, you need someone to come and play wing, right? Because now you need someone to replace Perfetti on the wing. So
put Lambert on the wing, I think. Then put Lambert on the wing.
Well, and Lambert, I think, has mostly played wing, hasn't he? Like he's played some center, but I feel like he's playing more wing when he comes up for the Jets. But maybe I'm wrong. But
like, of course, yeah. If Lambert is suited to play center and Perfetti does not again suit center, then don't force it. Then give Lambert a shot. But I think, come on, if that situation came to fruition, you have to give Perfetti an opportunity.
You would think, but I don't see them doing that.
Yeah, who thinks nowadays?
Jets are set in their ways when they tell you where you're playing there. That's it.
Winnipeg Jets fans, what do you think about the Cole Perfetti contract? Do you think he'll get another opportunity at center? Do us a huge favor, smash that subscribe button, Jets Nation, Bomber Nation. Also, smash that subscribe button. I'm taking your line. Benny, what do you have to say to our friends?
You know what? Thanks a lot for listening. Don't forget, subscribe and follow, and go Bombers go.
And don't forget to smash that subscribe button. And in the words of Ed Whalen, in the meantime and in between time, that's it. Another edition of Ray and Benny Talk Sports.
Hey, friends and neighbors, don't forget to check us out online on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at Ray Benny Sports. And don't forget to check out our YouTube channel. Leave a like, leave a comment, tell us what you think.